Hello to the rewatch crowd. Hey, Spitcoat. Hey, Brooka. Hey, Comic Brook. You missed me? Aw, thanks, Comic. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Rebecca. Doug getting lots of jobs in your community. Yeah, that's the whole point of Doug is to because again, the thing you have to remember is that Republicans want to eliminate the government except for anything that can be used to punish people. Um, so laying off tens of thousands of federal workers, that's been their goal for decades. How will the fired employees feed their families? Republicans don't give a shit. Republicans hey Jordan, Republicans genuinely could not care less about whether people are able to feed their families. Listen, because you're in your car. Cool, cool. So yeah, firing large numbers of people. Yep. Canadians are talking about politics more than Americans. Yeah. Republican makeup memes. I have not seen that. Ranked utilities got cut off. So I got a box of frozen egg rolls. I mean, lucky for you, I suppose, but yeah, that sucks for your friend. That's shitty. Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk. It's important to remember that Musk is an idiot as well. Um, he just wants power and control. Um, and like it's just the politics of spite. That is cool because the Dogeman. I mean, anyone with sense saw right off the bat that it was going to be used to um, to justify cutting anything that actually helped regular people. Because it's worth noting, there actually is already a government office that is in charge of efficiency, the Government Accountability Office. They do what Doge was formed to do, or they do what Doge was supposedly formed to do. The difference is that the GAO is run by people who actually know what they're doing. It's run by people you know, who actually do know what they're doing. Whereas Doge is run B. Arthur. That is not B. Arthur, no. That is Cove from the visual novel Our Life, Beginnings and Always. Cove is our boy. Email Melanie. Although that's apparently being backed off on. Who the fuck? Because, yeah, average dude. Yeah, the Government Accountability Office, it does what Doge was stated to have been formed to do. The difference is that the GAO is run by people who know what they're doing, and Doge is run by Musk loyalists, Musk fanboys, who just want to throw power around. And yeah, that email about say what you did this week or you'll get fired. A bunch of there's been a bunch of people, like a bunch of sort of managers saying no, don't do that. And now like they're sort of backing off on that, like, that it's voluntary, and well, we never said people would be fired, and because that's the other thing, they don't actually they don't actually really know what they're doing. Musk doesn't actually know what he's doing. The people who work for him don't actually know what they're doing. There's no planning. It's all just fucking. Musk has a random thought and sends it out and makes it policy. And also, hello, Angela. About leadership debate. I'd rather not. That said, I am curious who are the. Honestly, I know there's Freeland, and I know there's Carney. Who else is there? Yeah, go away. Ontario election. Yeah, I need to go. I need to actually go out soon. This week. I need to go out this week. Corinne Gould, Frank Bayless. All right. So Freeland, Carney, Gould, and Bayless. But I think at this point it really is Carney's to lose. The election itself is the 27th, but there is early voting all week. Hey, Killface. Vlog voting screen? Nah. I think it's the 27th is the last day, right? So the 27th or the 28th? Pretty sure the 27th is the last day of voting. Don't do that. No one cares. That's my feeling, Killface. So yeah, sometime the next couple days, I got to get down there. It's a bit of a walk. Hey, alien tourist. I do want to get I do want to meet up back up with my mom sometime this week. So maybe I could like go vote and then cab over to her place or something like that. What's going on this evening? Nothing much. Man, I just really hope Doug Ford loses. How old is your mom? She is 70 something. I don't remember exactly, but she is in her 70s. From Fox News doing interviews. Reason enough to want him out of office, frankly. If he's been on Fox News lately, then I assume that it's as like pushing back against Trump's tariffs and shit like that. Much as I detest Doug Ford, he has been doing a pretty good job pushing back against Trump's anti-Canadian bullshit. Most premiers have. Doug Ford, because Ontario is where both the capital and the largest city are, because Toronto, Ontario, hey, Buttercup, because Ontario is sort of like to a certain extent the center of the country. Hey, Concha, how's the job going? Badly. Still haven't found anything. Still haven't heard back from anywhere. Rob Ford talked about having more than enough to eat at home. That was such a guy. I loved that. like, like the mayor of the biggest city in Canada talking about eating out his wife. It's like, you know what? You know what, Rob? I'll give you kudos on that one. I will give Rob kudos on that one. That was so funny. Doug Ford. Doug Ford is Rob Ford's less charismatic brother. Less charismatic and more corrupt brother. Rob Ford smoked crack, was accused of asking a female staffer if he could perform. They're like, yeah, they're brothers. Yeah, Doug Ford smoked crack while mayor, like as mayor. Like during his time as mayor, he smoked crack. When a female staffer alleged that he asked if he could perform oral sex on her, he made the comment, "I have more than enough to eat at home." He like Rob Ford was entertaining, but very much a holy shit. This dude is mayor of Canada's biggest city? Doug Ford is less charismatic and more corrupt than that. And less competent. Rob Ford was the superior Ford brother. That's the wild thing. The crack smoking mayor of Toronto was the superior Ford brother. The better Ford brother. He was. That was like, it was only a few months. Like, it was really only a few months where he was international news. You know how fucked up a Canadian politician has to be to start making international news? Our prime ministers barely make international news. Want a video of my mayor in the trap house all sweaty and happy? Like, our prime ministers barely make international news. Crack smoking, pussy eating politician. No, he's dead. He died a long time. He died like over 10 years ago. He died a while ago. I think like 15 years ago. It was a while ago that he died. There's another time he bowled over a city councilwoman. Just knocked her right over. I think there was another time he hit a kid with a football. Might be thinking of somebody else, but I could swear there was a time that Adam Sandler. No, not Adam Sandler energy. He had Chris Farley energy. That American TV host had him on. That is hilarious. Little did they Trump was in the future. He had he had Chris Farley energy. I might be thinking of somebody. I might be thinking of a different politician. I could have sworn that there was a clip where Rob Ford was like, it was just, it's just a little photo op, and people trying to love him. I mean, they had mixed feelings. Some people liked him, some people didn't. Chris Farley died before I was born. Yeah. All Canadians were must be like a character from the Trailer Park Boys. Okay, I might be thinking of a different clip. There was a time that he was trying to do. He was doing a like this. Rob Ford was doing this. Chris Farley was hilarious. Do you feel like we would have ended up running for prime minister? Hard to say, but yeah. There's a clip Rob Ford trying to like was doing a little harmless photo op, and he was gonna throw a football, and he fell over. It's just wild. Kevin Farley still acts, and they look alike, so I was like seeing him and stuff. But yeah, Chris Farley is one of those comedic actors that I do miss. He was always good. On Saturday Night Live, he was really good at getting other cast members to crack up. Comedians scare you. Adam Sandler was never able to keep a straight face around Chris Farley. One of the only cast members that he never broke on camera was Phil Hartman. Another one who was like just one of the absolute most tragic uh, comedians to lose. And Phil Hartman was really good at keeping a straight face. Um, the term for when somebody like starts laughing on camera is corpsing, like on camera or on stage. Like the when somebody starts laughing during a scene, the term is corpsing. Phil Hartman was like one of the best at not corpsing. Corpsing, yeah. When was the last time you watched Saturday Night Live? Oh, it's been a long time. Um, would have been like late '90s, mid to late '90s. I was Norm Macdonald. I don't remember if Norm Macdonald was still host of Weekend Update at that point. I think he might not have been. I do know that Will Ferrell was still on there, so it was before Will Ferrell left the show. And I have to be honest, Will Ferrell was a part of why I stopped watching that show. His sketches, so many of his sketches, oh, were so fucking annoying. Chris Farley. No, no, that was Andy Dick. Farley died years before Hartman, a couple years before Hartman. It was Andy Dick who gave Phil Hartman's wife the drugs. Matt TV or SNL. I did prefer SNL at the time. Back then, I did prefer SNL. Mad TV. I liked the Spy versus Spy cartoons. You know, they were fun in the Mad comics, and they were fun on Mad TV. Honestly, about the only bit I remember from Mad TV is he looked like a man. which that got old halfway through the first time they did that bit. And then they did it multiple times. Jon Lovitz, yep. Hey, Silent W. Genuinely the peak of Jon Lovitz's career. The funniest thing he has ever done, and he's done some funny stuff. Jon Lovitz is not an unfunny person. He is like he's done some really funny bits. Like, you know, a lot of his Simpsons appearances have been hilarious. News Radio, he wasn't very good. But he was in a really it was a really bad position for him to be in, replacing Phil Hartman. League of Their Own, he was good. Yeah, Jon Lovitz has done a lot of really good stuff. Done a lot of really funny stuff. Beating up Andy Dick is absolutely going to be the funniest moment of his entire career. His entire life. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Andy Dick is a fucking asshole. Andy Dick is favorite modern comedian. I don't really watch a lot of it. Andy Dick's appearance in the live streams? No, I would never watch. I would never willingly watch anything that has Andy Dick, frankly. The improv most of that. They didn't want his prick to be that big, but I mean, he's Jon Lovitz. That's good. I just watched an episode of Saturday Night Live last night. Not as good as it used to be, but we're almost a few years back. Yeah, I mean that's what Saturday Night Live does. It goes through cycles of being, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. It is very much an inconsistent show. It'll have like a few brilliant seasons, and then a few terrible seasons, and then back to some good seasons, and then a few more bad seasons. Him being incoherent because of how drunk high he is and people making fun of him. I'll be honest, one of the things that bugs me about Andy Dick is he's the kind of dude who just straight up sexually assaults people. You know, he'll just grab a guy's dick. He'll be like, I'm so funny and wacky. Look, I'm grabbing your dick. What great comedy. It's like, dude, no, that's wildly inappropriate. The Pamela Anderson roast, he just started groping Pamela Anderson's tits. Like, that is literally sexual assault, you fucking asshole. Just got beat up on live stream. Good, he deserves it. Andy Dick is a piece of shit. Out of curiosity, has Andy Dick embraced the he just looks gross? He does. In the army now with Pauly Shore. Love for Pauly is my strength and my hate for Andy. I don't know that I've never actually watched a Pauly Shore movie. I just remember it being a punchline back when I was a kid. Yeah, like growing up in the 90s, Pauly Shore, yeah, he was still popular, but he was also like widely mocked. Because Andy Dick embraced the discredited comedian to alt-right pipeline. Like, has Andy Dick embraced the alt-right? Son-in-law's kind of funny movie with Pauly Shore. Because a lot of comedians these days, when they, when their comedy is no longer well received, they'll just be like, well, guess I'm right wing now. Russell Brand did that. Yeah, he started like, there were a lot of, he still just went focus on drugs and his version of humor. So I suppose I will give Andy Dick that tiny bit of credit for not trying to like ingratiate himself with the alt-right, with the right wing. Just that tiniest shred of credit for not trying to ingratiate himself with the right wing the way that Russell Brand did, or who was that? Who was that dude who used to be on the like his big thing was the Man Show with Kimmel back in the day? Whereas Kimmel sort of grew up and the other dude absolutely did not grow up. Who was that guy? Adam Carolla, yeah. Yeah, Adam Carolla, like, his career just flatlined. Jimmy Kimmel, after the Man Show ended, Jimmy Kimmel continued to do well. He ended up with, talk show. He's doing well. Jimmy Kimmel is doing very well for himself and has been for a long time. Adam Carolla, after the Man Show ended, who the fuck heard anything about him for the next 20 years until he popped up on all sorts of like conservative podcasts and shit, and Fox News and the Blaze. Is it the Blaze? The Matt Walsh? No, Daily Caller. I think Daily Caller, yeah, popped up on like fucking Daily Caller. Matt Walsh's hyper conservative propaganda network. Where he made a Daily Wire. Thank you, Buttercup. The Daily Wire. Yeah, he put together like that really, really shitty looking animated sitcom. I don't ever see like the ads for that sitcom. Holy shit, it had no jokes. It was a sitcom completely devoid of jokes. It had one joke, and it's Liberals are stupid. Hey, Becca. Dinner. Rice. I was so tempted to order out. Like, I was genuinely, like, really tempted to order out. But I'll hold off. Hasn't actually been that long since I last ordered out. My birthday, specifically. Last time I ordered out was my birthday, which is, just started this month. Hey, Christina. Got plenty of meat at home. Exactly. These things are like the saddest thing about Rob Ford was the fact that Chris Farley was already dead, so couldn't play him in a biopic, in a comedic biopic. Because man, Chris Farley would have been perfect for the role. Anyway. All random accounts of female first names only. I mean, bitches love me. Hey, Val, what's your favorite tree? Your family tree. I love climbing all over it, if you know what I mean. Oh, what's that? I like mimosas. Aren't mimosas drinks? Isn't a mimosa a kind of drink? I've never heard of a mimosa tree. Shows what I know about trees. Smell good. I suppose I'll go with the maple tree on account of maple. Though I don't actually like real maple syrup. Yeah. Yep, they're pretty. Samosa. I don't like real maple syrup. I like the fake maple syrup more. I think because I grew up with like the fake maple syrup, you know, like the Aunt Jemima. I think because I grew up with Aunt Jemima, because like that was all I ever had as a kid and everything like that. When I did finally try like real maple syrup, it didn't taste right to me. Real and fake. Oh, they are. They're two. They're very different. You know, like you have Aunt Jemima and then you have like real maple syrup. Wildly different. If I had real maple syrup more often, it's possible that I would like it more. But it was just because I had it the one time, it was just so not what I was ready for. And yeah, I just my taste buds just didn't quite know how to deal with it, you know? So yeah, I am a bad Canadian. I know it does make me a bad Canadian for like Tom Dillon, Tim Dillon. I don't know who Tim Dillon is. I don't know that I've ever actually heard of him. He's 40. Hey, so am I. I am also 40. Regardless, I still know nothing about the dude. I now know that he's 40, and that is all. And I'm only just now learning that. He's a comedian? Eh. Alright. I haven't watched any comedy in forever. Like, Chantel and I used to watch the Comedy Central roasts, but hey, Sweet Caroline. But even those, I don't know that we watched any of the ones that were released when we were still living in the villa, so. I think we might have watched one or two of them. Other than that, yeah, I haven't watched any stand-up comedy in a long time. I think the worst roast was probably the Trump roast. That one never should have even happened. Also, that one had that dude, the Situation, who just did not know how to tell a joke. All right, what's another topic? What's something else we can talk about? What's something worth talking about? Hey, Rara. Don't know how your life would be without stand company. Yeah, I mean, I used to watch when I was a kid. I used to watch some stand up. Just for Laughs was on constantly. Comedy Network up here in Canada would play Just for Laughs like 2 hours a day, or like you'd get like multiple points throughout the day where it'd just be like Just for Laughs for like 2 straight hours just for laughs, and then a few hours later they do another 2 straight hours of Just for Laughs. Hey, Color Purple. Um, that is because of requirements that Canadian TV stations have a certain amount of Canadian content. Just for Laughs was exceptionally cheap. So just use that to fill up all the Canadian content requirements. So yeah, I used to watch that quite a bit, and every once in a while, I would watch some sort of I'd watch some other stand-up comedy specials. I don't remember the name of the comedian, but I remember a joke that he did. Sort of a pair of jokes. Uh, he talked about like going to a carnival, and yeah, they do like going in the bumper cars, but he didn't like being hit, so he'd wear a neck brace so that other people wouldn't hit him. And one day he was on the bumper cars and he saw somebody else wearing a neck brace. Like, hey, that's my thing. So I rammed him. And he was really selling it too. You know, laying there, I'm like, nice try, boy. That's nice try, guy. That can't get a kidder. Instantly, when you're in prison, then he went into a bit about like how they take your shoelaces and and like trying to figure out a way to kill yourself with shoelaces. But it's just I like that little segue. Not sure why that joke just ended up kind of sticking with me. John Christmas special isn't very good. Yeah, I don't watch. I don't really watch. I mean, I don't really watch a lot of stuff anymore, frankly. I'm gonna go refill my water. I'll be back in a moment. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, the Canadian content requirements um, for Canada can be kind of interesting. Why not? Ah, crap. I was supposed to post a video today. Throwing a remote at my boyfriend's ass. I forgot to upload. I totally forgot to upload my book review. Meant to have a book review up today, but I completely forgot to upload it. Go back and listen to it. Didn't quite get it. What the Canadian content requirements? So yeah, the CRTC, Canadian Radio and Television Council Commission. For Canadian television and radio channels, there is a requirement that a certain amount of the content that is aired has to be Canadian, has to be produced in Canada, made in Canada. It is because, like, just as a way of protecting Canadian culture, frankly. Being right next to the US, our location means that we get a lot of US content. It would be very easy for our channels to just be overrun by US content. So in order to ensure that we are still able to produce content of our own and promote Canadian culture, there is that requirement. It means that a fair amount of it ends up being pretty low budget shit. Because we don't really have the budgets that a lot of, like Canadian film studios don't really have the budgets that American studios have. The Red Green Show? Fuck yeah, the Red Green Show. Hell to the fuck yes. I loved Red Green as a kid. Yeah, I mean, like, Red Green, Kids in the Hall, Corner Gas, one of the all-time greatest sitcoms ever made. A lot of it on YouTube. Yep. A lot of Kids in the Hall on YouTube, a lot of Red Green on YouTube. Corner Gas, I imagine, like, just clips. Probably like fairly short clips rather than full episodes or longer clips. Canada does have, like, Canada has a lot of really funny people. Pound for pound, I say we're actually funnier than the US. Second City. Yeah, SCTV. Loved SCTV. Like, it's close. But I do think, pound for pound, Canada might actually be funnier than the US is. A lot of major comedic actors, they're us. Jim Carrey, Mike Myers, Second City, Siege and Master. Yes. Second City, Chicago, right? Second City is from Chicago, right? And then yeah, there was the Second City here in Canada, and yeah, and like again, because sketch comedies are kind of cheap. Like SCTV was a cheap show to produce. Yeah, I mean Rick Moranis, Eugene Levy, and Dan Levy. Still, yeah, U.S. steals a lot of top Canadians. Like, I mean, because I mean you can pay because the U.S. can pay them. The great Canadian comedians go to the US because they can make actual money there. Well, Murray's not. Murray is American, I think. It's one of the Eugene Levy movies on YouTube. I didn't realize he did one with John Candy. I mean, they were friends. You know, Levy and Candy were both on SCTV, and yeah, John Candy, another amazing Canadian comedian. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they probably did a few movies together. Pretty sure Bill Murray's American. I'm pretty sure he's exceptionally American. Yeah, he's from Illinois. Bill Murray's from Illinois. And it's not to say there aren't some absolutely incredible U.S. comedians as well. There are. There's a ton of brilliant U.S. comedians. I think that we might be kind of famously an asshole. I have heard. I have kind of heard that. And I'm at a University of Illinois basketball game. I've kind of heard that about him, Silent. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, as far as like, I would honestly rank Corner Gas as up there among the best sitcoms ever. As like up there, like right up along with any U.S. sitcom. Not as bad as Chevy Chase. Definitely has bad reputation. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Chevy Chase was enough of an asshole that he got fired from Community, right? Didn't he? If I'm not mistaken, Chevy Chase actually got fired from the show Community just because he was so shitty. Yeah, several races ranked. Yeah, our comedians are angry comedy, while you guys are silly comedy. I mean, it varies. I mean, we've got angry comedians and you've got silly comedians. Well, I suppose we don't really have that many angry comedians. I suppose our comedians aren't really. You know, like I don't think we have like a U.S. version. I don't think we have our own version of like Lewis Black, for example. We have our version of Jon Stewart with Rick Mercer, though Mercer was actually like Mercer was doing political comedy well before Jon Stewart was. You know, Mercer was on This Hour's 22 Minutes before Jon Stewart was doing The Daily Show. So Mercer does sort of predate Stewart in that sense. But no one takes him seriously. I mean, again, some do, some aren't. I do feel like if, for a lot of Americans, if they looked at a list of Canadian comedians, they would be genuinely shocked. Wait, he's Canadian? Holy shit, she's Canadian? Catherine O'Hara is Canadian? Catherine O'Hara is Canadian? What the hell? Eugene Levy, I didn't know he was Canadian. Seth Rogen? Well, no, I can actually see that one. No, that one's fair. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can believe Seth Rogen. I don't. I feel like no one would actually be surprised to find out that Seth Rogen is Canadian. It'd be like, really? No, that tracks. The weed, yeah, the weed that tracks. The cheerful, the cheerful bearded pothead. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Now you mention it. Though maybe it's just me. Angry Canadian comedians. Yeah, I kind of think of it. I can't really think of any off the top of my head who are. I'll have no fury like a me conviction. Yeah, I suppose in terms of comedy, we are sort of more known for a more laid back style. Switch out the sweet and sour sauce with maple syrup. No buttercup. Sweet maple syrup on rice? That sounds not to my liking. Sarcastic. We can be known for sarcastic comedy. Canadians do sarcasm really well. And like dry humor. We're good at dry humor. Because we want to see what we can get Americans to believe. I think that might actually be a part of Canadian humor as well. Is just seeing if the Americans will actually take what we say at face value, no matter how ridiculous it is. So sarcasm and dry humor, yeah, we do that to see if it'll actually. Canadian Bacon is a good example. Never actually read that or watched that one. I haven't actually watched that movie. I probably should, although I've heard some conflicting things about that one. Actually, I think I've read somewhere that it's actually not a particularly good movie. No, that's not the movie I was thinking of. Oh no, it is. Huh. Michael Moore. I did not know that one was made by Michael Moore. Weird. Yes, Rhea Perlman. Love Rhea Perlman and Cheers back in the day. So yeah, that one's not really a Canadian movie though. It's got a fair number of it does have some Canadian actors in there. Most notably John Candy for sure. And he seems to be the only actual. Is he genuinely the only Canadian with to play a named character? No, not Dan Aykroyd. Okay. Yep. Ed Saley. Gordon Michael Wolbert. That said, three Canadian actors or four Canadian Bacon has 4 Canadian actors, and 3 of them are uncredited roles. Hey, Larry. Uncredited and unnamed characters. We're talking about. We were talking about differences between Canadian and American comedy. Okay, and actually, just reading the Wikipedia article, it does seem like it has one amazing joke. It mentions Dan Aykroyd appearing as an Ontario provincial police officer who pulls Candy's character over because the anti-Canadian graffiti doesn't have a French translation. Which, okay, that is an incredible joke. Hey, Uncle Buck. Like, genuinely, that is a hilarious idea for a joke. Like, a hilarious setup for a joke. The Canadians have more to smile about these days. Would your feelings be hurt if someone you cared about called you a bitch? Depends on the context, I suppose. Are they saying it like in an affectionate way? Because some people use it affectionately. To be mean. I mean, yeah, I would probably be hurt if someone was trying to hurt my feelings. If someone I cared about, if someone I cared about was trying to hurt my feelings, yes, I imagine my feelings would be hurt by it. So depressed. Indeed. Depression sucks. Hey, lip crust. Depends on if you were being a bitch. That's important to know as well. That's important as well. Lip crust. Lip crust. Was I being a bitch? It's embarrassing to be American right now. I mean, the rest of the world recognizes that it's not all Americans. Not even half of Americans. Um, although I suppose a lot of the world kind of pities. Yeah, like a lot of people around the world feel pity towards the non-MAGA Americans, and I suppose a lot of people do take embarrassment from being pitied. What do you say, MAGA, like manga? And what's the correct pronunciation for MAGA? Mega? MAGA? MAGA? That's whatever. MAGA, like maggot. Whatever. Like Mugget. That's what I'm doing. I'm pronouncing it like Margot. Margot. Like bog? Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm in having entirely too much fun. Just pretending that the ah that supposed to be an ah sound. Stop. I'm sorry. It's amusing to mispronounce things deliberately. It entertains me. Like pasta. What, do Americans pronounce it as pasta? Pasta. Is that right? Thank you, Uncle Buck. You guys say pasta? You suck. Pasta, pasta, whatever. You say to pot. You say tomato. You say tomato. I say ketchup. Mario in Canadian is Mario. To me, a Mario. Hi, Belle. See, I've known how to pronounce it since I was a kid because I watched that Mario TV show with Lou Albano. With Lou Albano. Do the Mario. Come on, everybody, do the Mario. Take one step and then again. Hey, everybody, do the Mario. I liked that show. Super Mario Bros. Super show. Also had the Link cartoon with the infamous. Well, excuse me, princess. Oot in the boot. I'm pregnant and I think it's yours. Well, we never had sex, so if it's mine, then then the sperm was obtained through illicit means. Therefore, I have no uh, no obligation. We should watch the Legend of Zelda cartoon. We actually shouldn't. It was actually pretty bad. That Zelda cartoon was actually pretty bad. Though I do remember one other bit. There is another joke I remember from that one. Um, I don't remember what context, but there were two Zeldas. Link was trying to figure out which Zelda was the real Zelda. So his suggestion for how to figure it out was that each of them should kiss him, and that would tell him which is the real one. And then one of them refused to do it. I was like, "That's the real Zelda." It's like, well, I guess you're the real one. Like, the one that got angry at him was the one that was like, "Yeah, okay, that's the real one." It's like, yep, I like that. I like that sort of play on the how do I tell which one is real. A new Legend of Zelda cartoon probably could be pretty good. The live action Legend of Zelda is just a bad idea. I still say live action Legend of Zelda is a bad idea. But a new Legend of Zelda animated series, I think there's potential to that. Any new news on the? Yeah, all right. Live action, I think has already been animated is a bad idea. Yeah, it's very very difficult to do a good live action adaptation of something that was developed for another format, for another medium. Like it's not impossible. It has been done, but it's really hard. Dragon Ball live action made me sick to my stomach. Live action My Little Pony. Yeah, see, that would not do well. Yeah, video games, anime, cartoons, comic books. It's so difficult to do a good live action adaptation of something that was developed for another medium. Making a new Avatar show. Cool, I guess. Sequel to Korra. I never watched any of the anime shows or any of the Avatar shows, so it let real women play the ponies. Yeah, I did hear. Was it One Piece? You would like Korra? She's a lesbian. I mean, takes more than a lesbian to make me like something. It helps, but it takes more than that. Name one lesbian you hate. I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. One Piece is pretty good. Yeah, that's what I heard, Rare, is that the live action One Piece was actually pretty good. But like the live action Cowboy Bebop, for example, was horrible. There you go, Vanna. Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah, Ellen DeGeneres sucks. I don't know. The ones who vote Republican. Any lesbian who votes Republican sucks. Her wife's name is cute. Or like the lesbians who are also TERFs. Because I hate TERFs. So those ones can go suck eggs. TERFs. Trans exclusionary radical feminist. Transphobes. Transphobes who pass off their hatred of trans people as protecting women. I am sex positive. I'm sex negative in that it's been so long since I've had sex that I'm in the negative. You're in heat. Hey, Kelly. Isn't everything radical bad? Not necessarily. The 90s were totally radical. Remember when radical was used all over the place when when every young person on TV said the word radical? Should have been gnarly. Is it an outdated term? I mean, tubular. Yeah. You buy me something, I get sexual, and I'll try anything sexual. Hey, bye-bye. Eat ass if bribed. Pass. I will pass on the ass eating. Whether giving or taking. Family group behind us, and I guess the drunk uncle was screaming because I kept hearing, climatize, climatize. That's from the movie Everest. Radical in conjunction with feminism, like something to do in the manosphere would say. Okay. So I mean, radical feminism, it's just a brand of feminism. I don't really know, like not like I'm a scholar on the topic or anything like that. So I don't know exactly what it is. Calls for a radical reordering of society in which male supremacy is eliminated in all social and economic contexts, while recognizing that women's experiences are also affected by other social divisions, such as in race, class, and sexual orientation. Abolish the patriarchy. So yeah, radical feminism is just about getting rid of patriarchy, basically. Yeah. So yeah, radical feminism stands sexist. Eh. It's important to remember it came about like in like the 70s, 60s. It's important to remember that it did come about in like 60s and 70s when, you know, oppression of women was even worse than it is now. Hey, Tracy, what are you talking about? Radical feminism. I'm in full drag and people won't stop grabbing my ankles. Miz started at that time, yeah. See, I mean, like, you know, it's important to note the context in which radical feminism arose. Beyond that, patriarchy does need to be abolished. You know, I'm absolutely down with abolishing the patriarchy. So, are we in fourth wave feminism yet? I don't know. We're probably in like fifth wave or something at this point. What was your day? I slept all day, as I do every day. I did shower today as well. I showered, so how good a day can it be, really? Quick pay would be a great start. Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, and it is worth noting that patriarchy does affect men as well. Like, stay-at-home dads tend to be often viewed with a weird amount of suspicion. So I mean, it's not like men are unaffected by the patriarchy. Plenty of dudes do suffer under it as well. Male cousin is a stay-at-home dad. Nothing wrong. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home dad. But when he takes his kid to the park, he's he probably gets some dirty looks, I would imagine. As a stay-at-home mom for 5 years, wasn't for me. I need to get out and work. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like it is expected that women will stay home to take care of the kids, which absolutely causes them issues. It makes it harder for them to pursue a career, for them to climb ladder at their workplaces. Like there to anyone with children. I mean, okay, man, fair. That's fair, but I mean, I've read multiple accounts from stay-at-home fathers about the way they're treated, and like that it does kind of suck. Nobody can afford to stay home with their kids these days. Yeah, it's definitely harder. Or like another example of how um, let people work to pay for daycare because it's so expensive. Yeah, like another example of how patriarchy uh, hurts men. Men do have higher suicide rates than women, and also are more likely to succeed at suicide as a lead. Like there is a genuine mental health crisis among men, but it's hard to talk about that. Oh, actually, no. Huh? Okay. So I was slightly wrong. I was slightly incorrect. Uh, Suicide attempts are more common among women. It's just that men tend to use more lethal means, so we're more successful at killing ourselves. Think you ever get another cat? Not while I live here, but if I'm ever able to get another place of my own, I might. So then thinking it's gay to wash their own ass. Yeah, that's weird. I had more to keep my twins in daycare than I did to house my family of six. House living is ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, that one is very much a why? Like that's a what the hell is wrong with you, dude? They're guys who have fully bought into the patriarchy. Um, and they deserve to be mocked for it. They absolutely deserve to be mocked for that shit. But it's accessory. Yeah. Yeah, women are more likely to attempt it, men are more likely to actually succeed. But, you know, it's genuinely hard to talk about mental health issues among men because it's, you know, for a lot of guys, they see it as a sign of weakness. And I do feel like a lot of the guys who do bring up mental health issues among men are doing it as an attack on feminism. Like you see that fairly often. Like, you know, like someone will be talking about, you know, suicide rates among women or mental health issues among women. And, you know, talking about, you know, how it's, you know, society is causing women all sorts of mental health issues and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, they'll get dudes coming in and well, nobody ever talks about rates among men. No one talks about mental health issues among men. And they're not doing it because they want to actually start that. They're not doing it because they think that there actually should be a conversation about it. They're doing it to shut down women. Larry, my dad always cried. He's a boomer and has no issues being emotional. My dad was a boomer and I only saw him cry when the day his dad died. Dad gets very emotional about his dad and the war. I mostly cry when I'm tired and like watch something or read something emotional. Blows my mind how many men seem to hate women but claim to be straight. I mean, they are straight. What they hate is what they hate is the fact that they can't control women. These guys want they want a woman they control. More than that, they want to take a woman who is independent and to control her. My dad had no emotions except for impatience and disdain, and hell of a sense of humor. Dad was a crier when he got older. Husband was a crier even at sad movies. So yeah, it's not that like they are straight. That's sort of part of the issue is yeah, they just they hate the idea of women wanting to be anything other than a housewife. I mean, you'll see it where like guy will go out, will pursue a woman who is confident and independent and accomplished, and then try to take all of that away from her. Like once they start dating, try to take all of that away from her. Because one is an object, an idea, some made up bullshit by a patriarchal society, not an actual human being. Why do they do that? Because at their core, they want to be important. Like you guys that cried watching The Green Mile. Fair, I suppose. Ah, shit. Who was that guy? Who was that comedian? He was in Superbad. Um, sort of the chubby dude. Not McLovin now. Jonah Hill, yeah. Jonah Hill. Uh, he started dating this female surfer. She was good at what she did. She was an accomplished surfer. And being a surfer, obviously, she wears a wetsuit. Um, she takes a lot of and like she takes a lot of photos of herself. Posts a lot, posts a lot of photos of herself in her wetsuit. And I mean, that was part of what that was part of what attracted Jonah Hill to her. That was part of why he started dating her, was because, he saw her Instagram and saw, oh, yeah, she's beautiful and she's cool. And then he got insecure. He started telling her not to post those photos anymore. Because as far as he was concerned, well, he was now the most important thing in her life. Yeah, she could still surf. She was still allowed to surf, but she wasn't allowed to do photos anymore. It had to be, gotta still focus on me. I don't know if my one time having my shoulder out in an Instagram picture. Meanwhile, a secure feminist man would point at those pictures of, you would point at sexy pictures of his wife and be like, or of his wife or girlfriend, be like, yeah, that's my girlfriend. Isn't she? Isn't she neat? I get to smooch her whenever I want. You know? David Morse is so hot in the Green Mile. Gary Sinise, Michael Clark Duncan, Sam Rockwell, Harry Dean Stanton, Michael Jeter. And let's not forget the poster of Raquel Welch. Was it Raquel Welch? Yeah, let's not forget that poster. Or am I thinking of a different movie? I might be thinking of a different movie from the Green Mile. I've never watched the Green Mile. Shawshank was the one I was thinking of. I never watched Shawshank Redemption either. I haven't watched either of those movies. Little old man getting out of prison and struggling. So yeah. Oops. I always confuse Green Mile and 8 Mile. As a good man, he gets on my nerves. We do that, Killface. We tend to do that. It's our way of showing affection. It's our way of showing that we like you. We annoy you because we like you. Your husband's so sweet, it shocks you. Anyway, we're at 2 hours, so I'm going to get going. Going to get going for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. Excuse me. So, thanks for coming. And good night, everybody.